Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And today I want to talk about a recent Scream Factory release by going over the 4K of Phantoms. This one just came out not too long ago, maybe a week ago, week and a half, depending on when this video goes live. And I checked out the movie itself along with the special features. So I'll give you my experience with this 4K release, and hopefully that helps you decide if you think it's worth the money now or if it might be one that you can hold off on a sale for. So let's not waste any time at all, guys. Let's just dive right in to my 4K review of Phantoms. So just to give you guys a quick unboxing, not too much with this one, but it does come with the slipcover, as you can see here, which I want to say this is the original poster art. At least it's the image I always remember. The original DVD, I think, and the cheapo Blu-ray that was released by Echo Bridge, that one has the characters' faces on it, but I like this one a lot better. And then you can open it up, and unfortunately, it is the exact same on the inside, and there is no reversible cover art, which is disappointing. But on the inside, we do have the cover art I was talking about a minute ago right there on the Blu-ray. And then we will flip that around and there is the 4K. So that's it. Nothing else really going on with this one, but at least now you guys know exactly what's involved with the packaging of Phantoms. Rather than just talk about it, I guess I could just show you. This is the DVD cover I was referencing, which I think is fine because you're getting your main characters on there, who obviously now are very well known. But this cover, for my money, is a lot better. It's just more mysterious and interesting to look at in my book. So anyway, with Phantoms, this is from 1998 and it's directed by Joe Chappelle, who actually just was off Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. That was his film prior to this one. And that one is obviously one of the lesser films in the Halloween franchise, but still a movie that I enjoy. So there's that. I know it doesn't get a lot of love, but anyway, the interesting thing about this is, of course, this is based off of the Dean Koontz novel. However, it also has a screenplay written by Dean Koontz. So it's really cool when you get to, see a film that is not only approved by, but written by the author of the original novel that it's adapting. So I think that's awesome. Now, that said, from all the special features on this, the first, 20, 30 minutes of this movie are very much the book, and then it kind of goes off and does its own thing. But I have not read the novel, so I can't confirm that. Anyway, we are following our main characters here. They are two sisters. They're driving in at the beginning of the film to this town called Snowfield, Colorado. And they arrive, and it turns out that people are dead. They can't find anybody alive. Eventually they get to I think it's a hotel or the police station, wherever they are, and they run into these two cops played by Ben Affleck and wonderfully by Liev Schreiber, who I think steals the show in this one. I didn't remember how much his character was in this film, or how little his character is in this film, but I think he does such a great job with the screen time he's given because he is so effectively creepy. It's so weird. He's so weird in this, but I think he does a great job. The sisters, I should have mentioned, are played by Joanna Going, who frankly is not someone I'm familiar with. I guess she's from the show Kingdom. We also have Rose McGowan as the other sister in this one. And then our fifth main character in this, I would say, is played by the legendary, iconic Peter O'Toole, of all people. It is so interesting seeing Peter O'Toole come into a sci-fi horror film like this. He's just not someone you would expect to see in a movie like this, but I think what it does is help bring a little gravitas to the film, and I think he does a really good job with what he's given. But anyway, once the sisters run into these two police officers, they quickly realize that there is something supernatural afoot, and that's when the military gets involved, and that's when Peter O'Toole's character is brought in, because essentially he's this author, but he writes for one of those tabloid news magazines. However, what he talked about seemingly is coming true in this case, where it is this ancient evil, essentially, that has come in. And he has one of the greatest lines there. They ask him, "What is this?" And he says, "It is chaos. Chaos in the flesh." Such an awesome line. I love that moment. I actually used that to describe my son a couple days later because he is absolutely chaos in the flesh. But anyway, that aside, so we essentially are trying to see what happened, why is everybody dead, how do we stop this ancient evil from taking over, are our main characters going to survive? That's the film in a nutshell. And I think what they do with this is interesting. I really wish it was better than it is, though. This is a movie where I feel like it's just a couple steps away from being a great film. In the special features, they talk about how it was almost a cult classic, and that's really what this feels like. The monster in this, they do a great job when they have the practical effects early on in the film, but then late in the film, they decide to go CGI, and given that it's from 1998, it doesn't look the best. It's not terrible by any stretch, but I feel like, and that's what they talk about in the special features also, is the monster. The revelation of the monster is what sets this film apart from being a decent film to being a great film that people look back on fondly. This is definitely not a film that has a big cult following behind it, so it's kind of strange that we do get a Scream Factory release of this, but for what it is, I think it's decent. I want to say I enjoyed it more on my second time through than I did on the first time, even though I am going to give it the same star rating. I think I just had a better time with it this time through. Again, the opening half of this film I think is really good. I love that setup, right? Of it almost appears post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic. What's happening? Who's going to survive? Who's not? I love that setup. But then it goes this ancient evil route, and it's okay, but it's lacking something. And I think it's in that monster. It's lacking there that just doesn't push it up to that cult status. And so while it's a good movie, it's not what I hoped it would be when I first saw it. And even this time through, you can tell it's lacking something. And so, not a film that, if you're not already a fan of, I recommend rushing out and buying this 4K for. But if you're a fan of it, we'll talk about it a little bit more. So yeah, this is one that it's worth watching, but I just wish it was better than it is. So I am going to give Phantoms from 1998 3 out of 5 stars. With my circular review of the movie out of the way, let's talk about the disc itself. So this 4K release, well, starting with the audio, has a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. Now, the DVD, this also had 5.1. This was Dolby Digital. And from my research, the difference between Dolby Digital and the DTS is just going to be that the DTS has a higher bit rate. Therefore, it should sound better. But the difference between the two is not going to be super noticeable. Fortunately, though, the track that is here sounds really good. I had no issues with it. The audio is crisp. The dialogue is crisp, I should say. It's never lost with the effects. I think if there's any explosions or loud moments, those sound really good. It was, a situation where there's not a ton of that, but what was there I thought did sound very good. I had no issues with the audio presentation on this one at all. What I'm most looking for with something like this is, was I able to hear the dialogue? Did it get lost with the sound effects? And did the explosions rock my house? And it checked off all of those. So I think the audio on this one is perfectly sufficient. On the video front for this release, we do get a new 4K scan from the original camera negative, and it was approved by the director, and it is in Dolby Vision as well, which is great. And I thought it looked awesome. The grain detail is still there, so Scream Factory did not do a whole bunch of DNR to erase that, which I know is important for a lot of people, myself included. I don't want my characters to look super glossy, and so I think they did a great job with the grain structure on this release. And the detail is awesome here as well, especially when you compare it to the old DVD release. It is a night and day difference. I think the visual presentation on this is fantastic. The colors pop where they're supposed to be. However, that is very muted because it's not a bright film. The whole film, I think, takes place at night. Not the whole film, but the vast majority of the film takes place at night. And so that Dolby Vision really helps enhance those blacks as well, which just look awesome. So for my money, again, I thought this looked great. So on the AV side of things, I think this is a really solid upgrade, especially when it comes to the visual presentation. That new 4K scan definitely makes a difference. I'm sure with the Blu-ray release they had of this from Echo Bridge, is probably just a 1080p upgrade of the original DVD. But with this one, with the new scan, if you're a fan of this and you care how it looks, I think that makes it worth an upgrade alone. The other reason that this might be worth an upgrade for you if you're a fan of this film are the special features. Now, there's not a whole lot on this release, but the DVD itself was completely bare bones. There was nothing on this release. So the fact that we get 2 new special features here is really cool. The first one is called The Terror from Below, Making Phantoms, which is an interview with the producer. I enjoyed that one. That was about 15 minutes or so. I think it's what you expect it to be from something like this, except what I really liked about this one and the other one, which is titled Chaos in the Flesh, which that one is an interview with the DP. What I think is really cool about this is that they talk about and they acknowledge the fact that this one just misses out on being a classic, and that's unfortunate. And they talk about kind of the reasons why that is. The one with the producer talks about how they had a different script, and then eventually they ended up bringing in Dean Koontz to write the script. And so I thought both of these were very good interviews and worth the time. The director of photography has, I would say, kind of brighter memories, better memories about the film. He doesn't the producer doesn't talk down to the movie or about the movie, but you can tell the director of photography, he really enjoyed his time on the film, and feels like it really led to more things for him, which I think he did a great job with the cinematography of this. So it makes sense that this would lead to more work for him. But yeah, that one was about 25 minutes. I might be flipping those runtimes around, but yeah, that's what you get on this. And so that's really it. There is a trailer and a TV spot. Those are both very short, but it's always cool to see those. You can see some of the work that was done in the transfer upgrade when you look back at some of those TV spots. But yeah, I think the special features on here, though they are limited and there's no audio commentary track, I think they're good for what they are. If you're a fan of the film, it's always cool to learn more about the behind the scenes. And even though this is only, about 40 minutes worth of content, it's better than nothing. So I think it's good that we have 2 brand new special features on this release. So this release from Scream Factory is a bit of a mixed bag for me and kind of hard to recommend, but not because of any shoddy work on Scream Factory's part. I think they did a great job giving this a slight audio upgrade, a big visual upgrade, and adding a couple of special features on here. That's all great, so kudos to them. However, I just don't know who this is going to be for, because Phantoms, I feel like, does not have a huge audience behind it, a huge fan base behind it. So if you're someone like me that wanted to give it another shot, maybe see if you liked it more the second time, and you're just curious on how it looks on 4K, maybe it's worth it for you. But it's probably one that you're going to want to wait for a sale on, just because, again, there's only about 40-45 minutes worth of special features on here. And unless you're a big giant fan of the film that needs to have this in the best visual format possible, I just don't know who I can recommend this to other than fans of the film. So I am going to give this 4K release of Phantoms from Scream Factory 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think Scream did a great job, but it's limited because of the movie itself. So that's my take, but let me know what you guys think. Alright, so those are my thoughts on Phantoms on 4K. One that I probably didn't need to buy, to be completely honest with you, as I'm not the biggest fan of the movie itself. It was really cool to see those behind the scene features and hear others talk about the film, but I can't recommend it to anyone who's not already a big fan of this movie. So let me know if you guys are planning on picking this one up, or if you're going to wait for a sale, or if it's just one that you're not interested in at all. For my money, I probably could have passed on it, but I'll keep it in the collection for now. It might be something I want to revisit again down the line. But with that said, guys, let me know what you think about this release and anything else down in the comments below. I appreciate any and all support down there, so thank you guys so much for leaving those comments. That said, thank you guys for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it so very much. And before you go, I'll just encourage you all to consume some media today. I will catch you all next time.